first, let's talk about the packaging. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, everything is unboxed. I wish I had the foresight to have done an unboxing video. I did not. So I'm just going to show you some quick pics, and those you'll see right now. Now, there's 3 boxes in total, as you can see there, and it's actually well packed. So very easy to kind of open, easy and hard. Each of the 2 big boxes each contain the rails as assembled, as is, with except the line fitting that's there. That was separate. So each box contained one of those rails. So that's 2 of the boxes. The 3rd box had everything else, including these longer hoses here, the shorter hoses, the hydraulic unit, the shorter rubber mounts, the thicker ones, and you can see the difference in them here. A couple spare wheels, and these kind of rails to pull if you're going from, if you load the rails from the inside of the car and pull them out, you can use these to kind of pull them. So all this was kind of included in the entire packaging. Very easy to kind of take out and deal with the exception of when you open up the boxes, because these are roughly 100 pounds each. Getting them out of the box once you take off the top was a little tricky. If you're one person, 2 would be easy. One person just grabs each side and lifts it right out. But with 2 people, it was a little bit tricky to do. They're packed straight up, so it's not like you can just kind of turn them over or anything. That's a minor thing, so minor. I got it out fairly easily, but that's everything you see there. Well packaged, easy to take out and deal with and inspect everything. Now, I've used these already dozens of times. I'd probably say at least over a dozen, I should say. Not dozens. I haven't had that long. But I can tell you that, the quality seems pretty good. When you look at everything here, the welds hold up well. These kind of anchors here, there's no wear on them. They haven't broken or anything like that, so they're holding up well. That's where these kind of anchor on here, and these are also holding up very well as well. No chipping or breaking, something that is a concern, of course. The structures of these are very strong. They're very, like I said, they weigh 100 pounds. They're not exactly lightweight. So, they are solid items. You can see, again, some wear and stuff from me using it. And I've lifted everything, lifted SUVs, cars, everything with this, and it's held up quite well. Only thing I have noticed is, a little bit of rust appearing there for some reason, although I haven't been in contact with water, so I find that kind of weird. But aside from that, everything is held up well. The lines are solid lines. Good hydraulic. They feel like good quality hydraulic lines. Good stiff lines. They're not too flimsy, or I don't see them being easily prone to swelling or anything like that. So they're good lines. These brackets are also quite strong. Good, solid stuff. Nothing I'll complain about on those. The rubber mounts, which, so far for the cars I've been using them, have been for the pinch welds, as you can see by the marks on there. They've held up pretty well for the most part, but they don't have some pinch welds, especially if they're sharp, it does groove it. I have one of them here where it actually even, although the pin, it was setting right about there, so it was a little bit at the edge, a little misalignment on my part, but as I lifted the car back off, it sheared that right there. So again, it held up well. The car was fine, but you could see that these rubbers, they're all right, but they're not, and they're solid, and they held up the cars no problem. After I lift the car up, they don't move or anything like that. But they're also, they do have other mounts you can buy, SUV mounts and pinch weld mounts. I think those would be better. Maybe I'll look at those in another video. I'm hoping to get them, but these have been pretty good. The wheels, although they give some spare wheels. You can see the wheels there. I've, again, used them a few times already, and they're holding up well. And the hydraulic unit seems pretty good. Good quality. Lines are good. Good thick gauge lines. The connections seem good. No visible wear on them at this point. And the unit works well. It's quiet, silent, so no problems there either. So I'd say as far as build quality, I'm quite happy and impressed with it. Okay, now as far as functionality is concerned, normally I would include it in the video, show you a little bit of how to or anything like that. In this case, because of the nature of the Quickjacks, I'm going to have a separate video on general procedures on how to jack up your car using it, so check that out for actual functionality in use. I will tell you that there is a couple things to mention. These hydraulic lines, the connectors, all good quality stuff. They are sometimes a little stiff to get off, even after you've dumped all the hydraulic fluid out of here into there, which you do at the end. You press down and it draws the fluid back out into the hydraulic unit. They can still sometimes be a little bit tricky to kind of remove, and also even sometimes to clip on. Not a big deal, but I have noticed that, so it's something to note. Now, depending how you want to look at it, these are good and bad. If you're doing one wheel, for example, let's say you're replacing a tie rod on one wheel. To get this, unless you have a garage, like you guys know me, right? I'm working in the shed area, which means I don't leave it here. I've got cars parked here, so I have it in storage. If you have a garage and they're just sitting on your garage floor all the time, and you can easily just move them when you want to work, very quick, very easy, just slide them under the car and start lifting. However, if you're someone like me who has to put them in storage and take them out, then me bringing out my jack just to lift up one wheel, if I got to do a repair on one wheel or something like that, is much quicker than trying to get this all set up and assembled. However, if I got to do something where it's a flush and I need the car level, or if I'm doing, let's say, front brakes, rear brakes, anything like that, then doing this is actually much easier, because having to lift by one wheel, jack up, lift up the other, or lift by the subframe and jack up both, this is just as quick. With the exception, of course, that there's some extra weight, so you are doing that extra lifting. Other than that, setup is very easy, straightforward. It's just lining up to your pinch welds as you would, or your jack points as you would with a regular jack and everything. So it's anything different there. And then it's just a matter of hooking up your hydraulic unit. It uses just your regular, power outlet, and you lift your car. So it's pretty straightforward, very easy to use. I would say that it's made a lot of my job so much easier, because aside from the other functionality positive, let's say, is unless you have a high level jack or anything, even if you're lifting up the front end of the car, there's only so high you can go. Otherwise, the car is going to be on a steep incline, even if you kind of chalk the wheels, right? And this here, you lift up the whole car, and it has really good range in the lift, and that's with just these, forgetting if you get something like SUV adapters or something like that, right? So, you still get a lot of good lift. I've been able to work on the cars much easier than I've ever been able to before. So, at least from a do-it-yourself at-home mechanic perspective. So, for as far as functionality on these, it's great. I do remind again, check out the video. I do have a video on how to set these up. I'll be using this Equinox right over here as the vehicle to show you guys. So be watching for that. But aside from that, I found the functionality very, very easy to use. Okay, and the last bit now we'll talk about is kind of the trickiest thing when it comes to the Quickjack, but it's both kind of a good and a bad, and that is the price. So here's the thing, right? I mean, for these, the Quickjacks, they have different models, all sorts of different models, and they kind of go anywhere in price from, about $1,200 US for the lower end model to about almost climbing near $1,700 for the kind of the top end model. And the real difference between them, they're all kind of the similar build quality. Overall, the big thing is that their weight capacities, they hold anywhere from 3,500 pounds, 3,500 pounds, 5,000 pounds, or 7,000 pounds. And of course, when you go to something like 3,500 pounds, you're only dealing with small cars. If you're doing 5,000 pounds, maybe a small SUV, and cars, of course. And then 7,000 pounds, you should be able to lift up bigger SUVs like a Tahoe or something. It is worth noting, though, for those prices for the at-home mechanic, I'm not sure if it's worth it, right? For me, it is. I work on cars all the time, right? Even though, I see videos are out once a week, I work on cars all through the week. Just can't always film the cars I work on. But generally speaking, I work on cars all the time. So I got the 7000 series model, and it's great. Lifts the car. It's fantastic. For the amount of cars I've worked on, it hasn't quite paid itself off yet. But I've had it only about 6 or 7 months at this point. I think maybe a little longer. So it'll be more than worth it soon. And for me, for the amount of headaches it's saved and making jobs easier and stuff like that, it's been well worth it. For the regular at-home mechanic who maybe works on their car every once in a while, once a year, a couple times a year, maybe, who knows, may not be worth it for that type of price. I mean, you're talking, that's a lot of money to spend on something that you'll use occasionally. So, but at the same time, you get what you pay for, right? If the price went down, they would cheap out a lot of materials. I'm sure these hydraulic units, the air pressure unit, things like that, would all be, maybe cheaper quality stuff. The lines would be cheaper quality lines. You may not even get all the mounts. Maybe get one set of mounts. So you get what you pay for. So you have to kind of know what you're looking at, what you're going for. For me, for the price and everything, it has been more than worth it. But I can't see that being, honestly, I can't see that being for every mechanic because, for the price you pay, will you utilize it enough for that value? That's up to you. For me, for a lot of people I know who are the do-it-yourself mechanics, maybe not, right? So that'll be the only thing. Now, as far as everything else in the review is concerned, I love them. I love the Quickjack. I think it's great. I've had nothing but good recommendations thus far. But it is definitely not for everyone. It does carry some weight. So, I mean, carrying even just one of these things, these 100-pound units, it's not easy. Going to be easy for everyone. And then, of course, the price, right? The price is going to be not for everyone either. So, keep all that in mind. But if you are able to carry these, I mean, it's got the wheels, which is nice. So just lifting on one side. But if you're able to carry them, roll them, let's say. And if you're also in the range of in the price range and everything for them, then I would 100% recommend them for sure, and they'll get a thumbs up from me. Thank you everyone for watching. I do appreciate all the support out there. Don't forget to throw a like on that video if it helped you, if you found the information useful, anything like that. Make sure to like it. Don't forget to subscribe, help the channel grow, and hit the notification if you want to see more of my videos. If you dislike the video, that's okay, no problem at all, but don't be a troll, alright? Make sure you put why in the comments. I mean, maybe I missed something, maybe I got something wrong, maybe there's something you feel better or you didn't like how I filmed. Whatever it is, put it in there. I make these videos to help people out, so I can only make it better if I get the feedback, but I need the feedback. Just don't be trolling, alright? Otherwise, if you have any other comments, feel free to do so. I answer questions whenever I can. If you want to add something on there, if you have a helpful tip that maybe I didn't cover, I didn't even know about, make sure to put that in the comments as well. I want to thank everyone, and I will see you all next video.